The Legend of Zelda is one of the most cherished series of all time. So, needless to say, the expectations for Skyward Sword are sky high, especially since many gamers hoped it would make up for the disappointing Twilight Princess 5 years ago. Unfortunately, those expectations are almost entirely fulfilled, right down to the one-to-one sword control we all hoped would be in the first Wii adventure. So let's start with that. The sword controls are awesome. Link now swings his sword almost exactly as you swing the controller, creating a very visceral and immersive experience. And not only that, but it basically turns every enemy encounter into a mini puzzle, as you search for which angle to attack from. Of course, puzzles have always been a key part of the Zelda experience, but Skyward Sword really takes it to the next level. They're no longer confined to just dungeons, but now the environment as a whole as well. For example, when exploring the mines, you'll have to exploit these time crystals which revert to the nearby area back several hundred years, while leaving everything outside the bubble in the present time. It's often mind-bending, but there's always a logic to the puzzles. As for the dungeons themselves, they may very well be among the very best of any Zelda game. Though they're as puzzling as ever, no longer will you find yourself lost inside them thanks to their streamlined designs. You won't feel lost within the story either, as Skyward Sword features, bar none, the best script of any Zelda game yet. It goes a long ways to humanize these characters, make them feel more like flesh and blood instead of just plot points. For the first time that I can remember, there seems to be actual chemistry between Link and Zelda. And by having these characters actually behave, well, like people, it actually makes their plight resonate more than most previous games in the series. Of course, the excellent animation helps too. The visuals in general are fantastic looking, especially with the backgrounds that seem to fade away into a painting. Sure, it may not be high definition, but it still looks damn good. Now, there are just a few things preventing the game from being perfect. For one, while the pacing is overall very good, the game gets off to a slow start and then is bogged down in the end by a few aggravating fetch quests. 2. While the motion controls are done very well, they sometimes become inaccurate. Granted, you can fix them easily with a quick button press to recalibrate the controls, but it still takes you out of the experience even if just briefly. In many ways, Skyward Sword feels like a love letter to fans let down by Link's last adventure. Where Twilight Princess is dark, Skyward Sword is bright, deep instead of vast, lively in lieu of desolate, and above all else, Skyward Sword is fun the whole way through. While it may not blow minds like Link's very finest, it didn't really need to. Skyward Sword simply needed to prove that Zelda's back on the right track. It may not be the best game on the Wii, it may not even be the best game this year, but Zelda's future has rarely looked brighter. Which is why we're giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching, and be sure to read our full written review over at GameXplain.com for even more details.